Okay, let's take a closer look at one of the problems we're given in your equilibrium worksheet here. This is a complicated statics problem, and what we need to do to solve this problem, now we did this one in class, what we need to do is we need to break this up into pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a free body diagram of this point right here. And then I'm going to solve for whatever I know, and hopefully when I solve I can get T2. That's kind of what I'm after. And then I can do a free body diagram of this one right here. Okay, and then working my way kind of up this configuration, I should be able to get the tensions on all these cables. Let's start with this right here. This is kind of where I have my most knowns, and it's kind of my least complicated point. Okay, and this point they give me that W is 80 newtons. Okay, remember it's my goal, I need to find T2. Well, T2 has two components. It's going to have a horizontal component, it's going to have a vertical component. Here's the key. This component and this component are going to be equal. So since I know this vector and I know this angle, I can do two things. I can calculate this hypotenuse, which is T2, which is what I'm looking for, and I can also get this horizontal component right here, which is going to be equal to T1. All right, so with this free body diagram and a little bit of trigonometry, I've got T1 and I got T2. Now this piece, I'm going to have to carry on to my next free body diagram. This is going to be a very important calculation for me. Because when I get to this point right here, I know everything about T2. So when I break it to components, I already know this and I already know this. All right, so that's going to help me solve the problem here. So here I can kind of play the same sort of game. I have tension 4, break it up into X and Y components. Well, I have to be in equilibrium. So then that means that this component and this component must be equal, which I previously found out was 80 newtons. Okay, so again, I can do the same thing as I did at the previous junction. I've got one of the sides of my triangle. I have an angle. The hypotenuse here is going to give me T4. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to calculate this force in the X direction. Because if I know this guy, I already have this guy, then I can find this guy. And now I have all the tensions in the cable. So if I get all the X components, I can set it up. I've got this vector minus this vector, which is this guy right here. It's the horizontal component of T2, minus T3 is equal to 0. And I am going to then solve for T3, and that gives me the tensions in all the cables. And I'm done with this problem.